Hello there. Welcome to Just the Dis. We talk about Blu-rays here. We talk about physical media. We talk about Vinegar Syndrome. And in this case, we're talking about Vinegar Syndrome adjacent titles. And I apologize for falling behind. Do some major catch-up here on some of my favorite Vinegar Syndrome partner labels. I'll start with one of my very, very favorites, and that's Canadian International Pictures. I was lucky enough to have a drink the other night with David Marriott of CIP. Wonderful guy, big fan. And he was kind enough to invite my podcast partner Elric Kane and I to be involved in this release. This is the new Blu-ray for the wonderful Canadian documentary Devil at Your Heels. And this is a fantastic documentary that was released in 1981, and this one was a big deal for my partner Elric Kane, and he, throughout the course of our show, turned me onto it. And it has become one of my favorite discoveries I've made through the course of Pure Cinema since we've been doing it. It's one of my favorite documentaries. The easy sell that I often use is Evel Knievel meets American Movie. And that's, a very basic sell, but just to kind of give you a sense of what we're talking about. And the story of a daredevil, Ken Carter, wants to jump a car a mile. Seasoned stunt driver Ken Carter has spent the past 20 years risking his life jumping cars 3 times a week. Feeling the pain from decades of injuries, he recognizes the end of his career is near. But before he calls it a day, he's determined to achieve legend status by jumping a car a mile over the St. Lawrence Seaway. After spending his life's savings building a rocket car, he joins forces with ABC's Wild World of Sports to build a massive ramp and put all the pieces in place to make his dream a reality. When the network sends Evel Knievel to inspect, he's shocked by the danger involved and concludes, this is the daredevil stunt that might end all daredevil stunts. He's also, it is funny to see Evel Knievel in this because he is also like, I don't know, basically, this doesn't seem like a good idea. And when Evel Knievel's saying that, it's not a great thing. So an epic journey to the heart of one man's dangerous obsession, The Devil at Your Heels is one of the most beloved films ever to emerge from the National Film Board of Canada. Playfully narrated by celebrated Canadian actor Gordon Pinsent, sent this immersion in the mind of an inspired, if overly ambitious dreamer, is often described as a forerunner to American movie. There you go. CIP is proud to present this timeless cult classic alongside 4 shorts by director Robert Fortier, including his earlier Ken Carter film, The Mad Canadian. Now, I haven't even had a chance to dig in to this amazing Blu-ray, and I'm not saying it's amazing by any means because we have stuff on this disc in terms of special features. It's just amazing because it's it's a new restoration, scanned and restored in 2K from the 16mm interpositive by the National Film Board of Canada. I was lucky enough to see this projected. We presented it at the American Cinematheque in Los Angeles last summer. And so one of the features on here is our introduction from that film. So it's one of those things where we did the introduction. You have the audio here. We also discussed it on the podcast. So there's like an 8 minutes for the introduction, 9 minutes for the podcast excerpt, and it is it is one of those movies that just really left a mark on me. But yeah, so this movie has not really had great home video releases to date, and it's one that CIP has been talking about doing for a while. And I'm so happy it's come out now. I cannot recommend it enough. Just an unforgettable documentary. Ken Carter, truly a character, pretty crazy, but kind of inspirational for a crazy person. So it's one of those. So the features, and there's a lot, because CIP is one of the best partner labels. They're just a solid label all around. Selected scene commentary featuring director Robert Fortier, Daredevil director, an 18-minute new interview with Fortier, new audio interview with Gloria DeMario, Keller on Carter, rocket car designer Richard Keller on his collaboration with Carter, one of the guys that helped make the car. Making the car is really funny too, because they just keep trying to make this car that's basically like a plane, and they just can't crack the making it work, you know. Long John Baldry interview from 1989, 4 minutes, an archival interview with the musician who created Ken's theme, which is pretty cool. Someone else's movie episode on the film featuring Becky Shrimpton and host Norm Wilner. The Pure Cinema excerpt and the introduction we did for Cinematech. Movies That Made Me excerpt, Kayla Janice and Calum Vatnsdal discussed the film. Ken Carter, World Record, 1982, 25-minute archival footage of Carter's ramp-to-ramp rocket car jump on August 19th, 1982. Aim for the Roses clip from 2016, a 6-minute excerpt from John Bolton's documentary chronicling a musical tribute to Ken Carter. And then we got 4 short films directed by Fortier. The Myth and the Reality from 1973, 5 minutes. Metalworkers from 1975, 10 minutes. The Mad Canadian, 1976, 10 minutes, which I got to see, obviously. Harmonium in California, 1979, 29 minutes. New introductions to all 4 shorts by Fortier. So, again, this is how you do it right, folks. This is great. You got a double-sided poster inside, and reversible artwork. It's beautiful. I can't recommend this enough. This is one of the reasons I really felt like I gotta talk about this. I mean, there's a ton of great stuff here to talk about, but the Devil at Your Heels is the one for me that you gotta see. Okay. Next up, we have one I haven't had a chance to check out yet, but it is another Canadian International Pictures movie. This is The Heat Wave Lasted 4 Days, and this is from 1975. While shooting 50th anniversary special edition, while shooting a news report on a Montreal heat wave, TV cameraman Cliff Reynolds, Gordon Pinsett, who of course not narrated the previous doc, unintentionally films Jerry Kuzo, Canner co-star Lawrence Dane, a recently escaped convict hiding from police and his former criminal associates on the heels of a rogue heroin deal. With the help of Barbara, Dave Furnite's Alexandra Stewart, and Gabriella, Vampire Circus's Dominique Blythe, Jerry schemes to fake his own death while offering large sums of money to Cliff to hand over his film and help deliver the drugs with lethal consequences. Created for the National Film Board of Canada's Filmglish series, which produced serialized feature films to help teach English as a second language. The Heat Wave Lasted 4 Days went on to become a surprise hit on American TV as part of ABC's Wide World of Mystery. Almost entirely unavailable in the decades since its original release, this lost neo-noir classic is offered here in 3 distinct versions, alongside additional films from director Douglas Jackson, including his award-winning The Sloan Affair. So, I mean, my goodness. Okay, so this is scanned and restored in 2K from the 16mm interpositive by the National Film Board of Canada. 3 separate versions of The Heat Wave Lasted 4 Days. You have the original TV cut, which is 66 minutes. You have the extended cut, which is 72 minutes. And the 4-episode Filmglish version, which is 80 minutes. Plus a new audio commentary featuring author, film historian Amanda Reyes, who master of all things TV movies, so I'm excited to hear her track. 4 days, 3 versions, 20, 25, 10 minutes, an overview of the differences in the film's 3 cuts. The Huntsman, 1972, 16-minute Jackson's first fiction film, The Sloan Affair, 1972, 53 minutes. Jackson TV movie that received 4 Canadian Film Awards, including Best TV Drama. Uncle T, 1985, 24 minutes. Jackson short featuring Linda Griffiths from Leanna and Heatwave's Gordon Pinsett. Double-sided poster included as well. Versatile artwork. That one sounds real interesting. I'm into that. This one is funny. It was one that I wasn't sure I had gotten, but I did. This is one that when I was having that drink with David and Brett Berg from AGFA, who handles theatrical for AGFA, but just an incredible film mind, both of them actually. But Brett was really excited about this one, and David too, obviously. Action, The October Crisis of 1970. Now, this is a documentary from 1973. A gripping account of the crisis that shocked Canada. In October 1970, the long-brewing tension between French and English Canada explodes onto the world stage after a group of Quebecois nationalists violently kidnapped 2 prominent political figures, holding them ransom and issuing now famous manifesto. With a nation on the brink, Prime Minister Trudeau responds by invoking the controversial War Measure Act, suspending civil liberties in Quebec, jailing hundreds without a trial, and unleashing the Canadian Armed Forces on the streets of Montreal. As tensions mount, local and federal leaders are forced to reckon in real time with shocking acts of political violence and unprecedented abuses of government power. A masterclass in urgent historical filmmaking by National Film Board veteran Robin Spry. Action, The October Crisis of 1970 is a bracing portrait expertly synthesizing a dizzying watershed moment through archival material, news reports, and first-hand on-the-ground footage, in league with the great political documentaries of the 60s and 70s, and complemented here by its film companion, Reaction, a portrait of society in crisis. Action remains a riveting account of the upheaval that shook Canada to its very core. So again, I hope you're paying attention. Canadian International Pictures is putting out these wonderful packages where one film is included and then you get some additional films as part of it. You know, I mean, these are. I mean, this is better than what Criterion is doing right now. This is, you know, on par with the best of what any label is doing right now. If you stack it up against, you know, what kind of features you're getting on some other discs that are coming out right now. I'm just saying this is not something to ignore. Scanned and restored in 2K from the 16mm interpositive by the National Film Board of Canada. Audio commentary featuring writer and film programmer Justine Smith. Audio commentary assembled from archival interviews with director Robin Spry. That's pretty cool. Tensions and Contradictions, a new 16-minute interview with Professor Zoe Druck. Making Action, a 15-minute new interview with NFB curator Marc St. Pierre. Alternate French language audio track. Then you have Reaction, a portrait of a society in crisis, also from 1973. That's the Spry documentary exploring a sampling of English-speaking Quebec's perspective on the October crisis. Booklet featuring a new essay by film critic / professor Tom McSorley and an essay by film journalist A. Abrinikis. Reversible cover artwork, subtitles, Region A. I started to watch that and I was digging it. I got to get back to it. Just a couple more from the wonderful folks at CIP. We have another 4K from them, and this is Hookers on Davy, and this is from 1984, and it's the 40th anniversary special edition. At the height of the 1980s, following their breakthrough documentary P4W, Prison for Women, filmmakers Janice Cole and Holly Dale turned their lens on Vancouver's Davie Street neighborhood, a bustling, neon-soaked hub for both trans and cisgender sex workers, informally known as the prostitution capital of Canada. The result was Hookers on Davie, a landmark document combining candid interviews with a group of instantly memorable subjects and vivid location footage of their street work, surreptitiously captured with hidden cameras. An indelible community portrait. The film culminates in the group's collective efforts to challenge and overcome legislative oppression. Much lauded upon its release in 1984 and no less potent or engrossing 40 years later, Hookers on Davie showcases Cole and Dale's deeply humanist approach, bringing care and compassion to subjects often represented in more reductively moralistic terms. CIP is proud to present this groundbreaking classic in a new 4K restoration that confirms its place among the greatest nonfiction films ever produced in Canada. 89 minutes, 137. 4K Ultra HD and Region A Blu-ray set. This is really exciting. Another one that I had no knowledge of and am excited to check out. It sounds to me like a companion to something like Streetwise, where you've got the kids in Seattle or whatever, and I just this sounds really great. And the fact that a documentary in 4K, I just love, like, documentaries are near and dear to me, and so when a label that I love puts such an emphasis on documentary, I mean, 3 of the 4 films I've talked about here are documentaries. That's awesome. I love that. And a 4K documentary, pretty great. Newly scanned and restored in 4K from the original 16mm AB negatives by Canadian International Pictures, with sound transferred from the original 16mm magnetic final mix. New audio commentary featuring directors Janice Cole and Holly Dale. Fantastic. New audio commentary featuring multidisciplinary artist and curator Jordan King. New introduction to Hookers on Davy by Cole. Directors on Davy, a 23-minute new interview with Cole. Before Davy, a 12-minute new interview with Cole on her early films with Holly Dale. Marty on Tiggy, 2024, new 14-minute trans elder Marty Peroniak's tribute to her friend Tiggy. Video report on the West End Sex Workers Memorial Fundraiser from 2009, 7 minutes. Toronto Artists Award tribute to Cole and Dale, 1994, 4 minutes. CBC interview, 1984, 8 minutes. Barbara Froome in conversation with Cole and Dale. City TV interview, 1984, 3 minutes. Jean Becker in conversation with Cole and Dale. Hookers on Davy Home Movies, 34 minutes. Afterward featuring Cole and Dale, brand new, that's 8 minutes. So you get an intro and outro interviews. Cream Soda, 1975, 13 minutes. New 2K scan of Cole and Dale's first short. I really want to watch that. Minimum Charge No Cover, 1976, 11 minutes. New 2K scan of Cole and Dale's second short. New introductions to both shorts by Cole. New audio commentaries for both shorts featuring Cole and Dale. New audio commentaries for both shorts featuring King. Hookers on Davy Archival Press Gallery. Booklet featuring essays by Kay Armitage, Adrian Ruihung, and Kaylee James. Plus reversible artwork. So very, very cool. Like I said, I do love Canadian International Pictures. Now, this is a real fun one. So lastly, we have Cannibal Girls, a.k.a. Cannibales. I think I had a VHS of this. This one's real interesting. It's from 1973. It is, well, I'll read it. These girls do exactly what you think they do. What do you think they do? During a winter road trip, a young couple, Schitt's Creek's Eugene Levy and Gloria, Black Christmas's Andrea Martin. So you have Eugene Levy and Andrea Martin starring in this movie, get lost and make an unplanned stop in Farnhamville, Ontario, a snowy small town known as the Friendly City. When they hear the legend of 3 local women with a history of murdering men, they playfully investigate, but to their horror, it seems the killers are still active. Police and locals are complicit, and they are all feasting on the victims. When the cannibals develop an appetite for Cliff and Gloria, they race to get on the road before they get on the menu. A decade before achieving blockbuster status with Ghostbusters, director Ivan Reitman put himself on the map with this more unsettling stab at a horror comedy featuring future icons and SCTV stars Levy and Martin. Drawing inspiration from the Manson family and other shocking drug-fueled horrors of the hippie era, Cannibal Girls is a gruesome exploitation classic that set the stage for the provocative horror films, including Shivers, Rabid, and the Ilsa series. Reitman went on to produce at Cinepix. The film also made a splash in the U.S., where American International Pictures added a gimmick worthy of William Castle, a warning bell, preparing viewers for scenes of an especially erotic or gruesome nature. So yeah, Eugene Levy and Andrea Martin, and I'm trying to spot any other actors I know. No more. 1973, 83 minutes, Region A Blu-ray, scanned in 2K with new color grade and extensive dirt and damage repairs, alternate WIP warning bell soundtrack, so you can select that and it will play the warning bell before those scenes, as was set up by AAIP. New audio commentary featuring Paul Korup of Canucksploitation.com and film historian Jason Pachonsky. Fantastic. I couldn't ask for two better guys to do that, especially Paul. Big fan of him. Two Guys and a Chainsaw episode on the film with a new epilogue on Canadian horror featuring hosts Craig Higgins and Todd Coons. Reitman the Fright Man, 20-minute new interview with film historian Chris Alexander on Reitman's horror period. The Horror Horn, a 5-minute interview with Chris Alexander on AIP's Warning Bell soundtrack. Cannibal Guys from 2010, 27-minute archival interview with Reitman and producer Daniel Goldberg. Meat, M-E-A-T, Eugene, 2010, 20-minute archival interview with star Eugene Levy. And More Meat, 2024, 21-minute never-before-seen outtakes of Meet Eugene. French opening credits, 1973, 3 minutes, theatrical trailer, 3 TV spots, radio spots, AIP press book. Orientation, 1965, 25 minutes. Early Reitman short, uncut on home video for the first time. Very, very cool. New Orientation commentary featuring Hamilton, Babylon, and Stephen Brumer. Booklet featuring archival interview with Reitman and Goldberg, plus a motion picture Purgatory comic strip by Rick Trembles, and reversible artwork as well. So that's super fun, and you get that Reitman other film, and oh man, that's exciting. That's good stuff. Okay, just a few more here. This isn't even a partner label, but it's one I like to include because David Marriott also works with Arbalos films, and this is the latest release from them. This is The Bloody Lady, and it's from 1980, directed by Victor Kubal. Arbalos is always, like Canadian International Pictures, putting out great packages, great stuff. This is the one you can get exclusively from their website. It has a wonderful envelope slip case that closes in back, and always comes with some fun stuff. In this case, we have some stickers, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So this is the disc. Lady Elizabeth Bathory lives a charmed life in a resplendent Romanesque castle surrounded by Disney-esque wildlife and a colorful cast of obliging servants. Taking ill one day while traveling through the forest, she's nursed back to health by a handsome woodsman, and in gratitude gifts him with her own heart. But upon returning home, Lady Bathory's sunny disposition quickly turns murderous and vampiric once she discovers the secret to heartless eternal youth lies in draining the blood of all the young women and men in her castle. Widely considered one of Slovak animation's crown jewels, The Bloody Lady is an improbable and bewitching fusion of gothic horror and classic children's animation, retelling of the infamous Katshutik castle and Bathory folktale, which is often cited as an inspiration for Bram Stoker's Dracula. Recently treated to haunting live score by celebrated indie musician Claire Rousset, this underseen gem is a new cult classic in the making. The Bloody Lady is the centerpiece of this deluxe edition, special edition release, a retrospective of landmark Eastern Bloc animator Victor Kubal's pioneering work in much-loved children's shorts, as well as subversive, though no less groundbreaking feature films. So, you have the limited edition slipcase, limited edition bonus item, character sticker sheet that I showed you. So, these are animated characters from the movie. I just think that's really a cool thing that they do with these. And then we have a new restoration from the 35mm camera negative of the movie, new restoration of Jerko the Highwayman 1976, and including over 20 restored short films. The Mysterious Old Man from 1944, Earth from 1966, Dita at the Post Office 1967, Promotion 1968, Dita in the Air 1970, Two Good Friends 1972, Tom Thumb 1972, Tom Thumb at the Magicians 1973. Chess, 1974. Tom Thumb and the Germs, 1974. The Present, 1976. Cinema, 1977. The Ladder, 1978. Only Child, 1979. The Microscope, 1981. What Happened to Johnny on the Road, 1981. The Selection, 1982. The Weatherman, 1983. The Marzipan Comedy, 1987. High Noon, 1988. The Idol, 1989. As well as a U.S. theatrical trailer for The Bloody Lady, and a new essay, A Dot and a Line, Everything is Possible, by Radislav Starenka, and a 12-page booklet. This is an all-region disc. It's in a limited edition of 1,000. If you're into the cool animated stuff that Deaf Crocodile's been doing, I really think this is going to be straight up your alley. You know, it is, as it says, a cult classic in the making. Really interesting animation and just trippy stuff. Really, really cool. Really interesting. And so I wanted to throw that in there because I always kind of think of Canadian International Pictures and Arbalos together because of David. So that is worth getting from arbalosfilms.com's shop. And then lastly, I haven't had a chance to check it out yet, but I just got Pavements. And this is of course, documentary, the celebrated documentary by director Alex Ross Perry about the band Pavement, but as I understand it, done in a very unconventional way. This is from Utopia. An examination of the iconic 1990s indie band Pavement appears to be just another music documentary until it isn't. A prismatic hybrid of narrative, scripted, documentary, musical, and metatextual forms, the film intimately shows the band preparing for their sold-out show, their 2022 reunion tour, while simultaneously tracking the preparations for a musical based on their songs, a museum devoted to their history, and a big-budget Hollywood biopic inspired by their saga as the most important band of a generation. So Alex Ross Perry, of course, directs. Stephen Malkmus, Scott Camberg, Joe Keery, Jason Schwartzman, Mark Eibold, Tim Heidecker, Zoe Lister-Jones, some of the folks included in the doc. This is a 2-disc set, 4K Ultra HD and Region A Blu-ray, feature commentary with director Alex Ross Perry and editor-producer Robert Greene. Post-screening conversation from the 60-second New York Film Festival featuring director Alex Ross Perry, producer-editor Robert Greene, and members of the band Pavement, moderated by New York Film Festival artistic director Dennis Lim. And then you have a sort of breakdown of a bunch of other stuff that's included here. So the band, PDX sessions, LA sessions, day of the first show in LA, Grounded live in LA, and then the show, a musical I guess, Slanted, Enchanted, day 1 short film, Rehearsing Cut Your Hair, Rehearsing Spit on a Stranger, Psy Finding the Story. The Museum, Thurston Moore interviews Stephen Malkmus at the Pavements Museum, New York, NYN, raw footage of Pavement Museum creator, Grounded live at the Pavement Museum, and then the movie itself, Range Life, a Pavement story teaser on the set of Range Life table reads, Range Life Matador, official full scene, Range Life Lollapalooza tour, montage deleted scene, Range Life radio show full scene, Range Life disastrous Lollapalooza intro deleted scene, and Range Life Malkmus and Lombardi deleted scene. So I don't know. This one has been one I've been curious about. I've heard some sort of mixed reviews of it, but mostly positive, and it does sound like Ross Perry definitely took a swing at doing something a little different with it. And again, a documentary in 4K. I love this. I can't get enough of that. So been very interested to check this one out when I can, and definitely will. So that's going to do it for this round. I really just wanted to focus on the Canadian International Pictures stuff for this particular episode, but I'll be back to talk about some other stuff from some other labels, especially Saturn's Core, in the very near future. So look for that. Anyway, thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.